This folding electric bike costs less than $1,000 and it has a UL certified battery. They say we can do 28 miles an hour and get up to 55 miles of range, and the bike weighs just 63 pounds. It's called the Velotric Fold 1 and they do offer a 2-year warranty when you buy this bike. If you want to get the best price on it, use my discount link down below the video in the description box, save yourself a little extra money. But do not buy the Velotric Fold 1 just yet. We gotta crack this box open, take a closer look at this bike, then take it out for a full review, see if it can climb hills, see what the real range is, see what the top speed is, and we gotta see whether or not this e-bike is worth the money. And here's what it looks like inside the box. 63 pounds is not too bad. Looks like it comes mostly assembled. Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, it's not light. Then all we gotta do is remove this packaging, unfold this thing. So it is a folding e-bike. Here's how the latching mechanism works. And this one comes in blue, however there are other colors linked below the video in the description box. Metal fenders come pre-installed, and of course the handlebars are foldable as well. Locks in place, and we are rolling on 20-inch tall spoke wheels. This helps keep the weight down, the bike nimble, a little bit lower to the ground, and it is a step-through frame, so it makes it very easy to get on this bike for short riders as well as tall riders. And the tires are 3 inches wide, which also helps keep the weight down, rolling on a knobby tread. We should definitely get a little bit more efficiency out of these lighter, shorter wheels compared to a taller, fat 4-inch wide wheel. And this folding e-bike has a through axle, a little bit stronger axle than I typically see on these folding e-bikes. Of course, there is front suspension, 60 millimeters of travel with a basic open and lock adjustment. Headlight also comes pre-installed. Up front we have mounting points for a front rack, and the UL certification sticker is stamped proudly right here on the frame. It does have a cargo area in the rear, rated for a max load of 120 pounds on the rear. Payload capacity of the entire bike is 440 pounds. The rear rack actually isn't a rack, it's built into the frame. Makes it a little bit more strong for carrying stuff. Branded the Fold, and it does come with a derailleur guard. That way your Shimano Tourney derailleur back here is protected in case you knock the bike over. We've got 7 gears on the rear cassette, and of course the all-important Velotric branded rear hub motor rated for 750 watts of nominal power, 1100 watts of peak power. And that motor will be powered by the battery, which is mounted back here. I found that some of these bikes with the battery mounted back here handle a little bit better than when they have the battery mounted up there in the frame. Of course, we have a quick release adjustment on the seat. A set of keys will get this battery off. Velotric battery, UL certified. Underside of the battery reveals it is 608 watt hours of energy, 48 volts, 13 amp hours. Not the biggest battery, but does keep the weight and the price down. 10 pounds, 4 ounces. Remove the key and you can save yourself 0.7 ounces. Looks like the controller is built into the battery tray. Says it can do 18 amps of peak current with 8 amps of continuous. And per usual, a folding e-bike comes with folding pedals. They are plastic folding pedals. Here's what the seat looks like. Squishy, pretty wide, a little bit of shape. Adjustments. In case you want to swap this seat post out for a suspension seat post, it is a 30.9 millimeter diameter. Because this is a hardtail e-bike, meaning there is no suspension in the rear, just the front fork. That helps keep the weight down as well as the price. There's a reflector on the back, but you also get a light on the rear, which does wire into the battery. We can see there are various mount points on this rear rack. Looks like you could easily add a seat back here. Not sure what that one is. So let's get a weigh in on this bike. I weigh 193.2. Pick this thing up and stand on the scale. Oh God, dude. So picking the bike up and standing on the scale, this really is not too heavy at all without the battery. 250.0 minus. So that's just 56 pounds for the bike and everything on it. And then the battery weighs in at another about 10 pounds. So with the battery on there, according to my math, that'd be about 67 pounds. And speaking of battery, what charger do we get? It is a 2 amp charger, 13 amp hour battery pack, 13 amp hours divided by a 2 amp charge rate. So that'd be about 6.5 hours to charge this battery from completely empty to completely full. 48 volts nominal, charge to max is 54.6 volts. So it is actually a great thing that this is a 48 volt e-bike. Some of these folding e-bikes will run on 36 volts. 48 volts definitely gives you a little pep, a little more power over a 36 volt e-bike. So let's go ahead and throw that battery on there. It does have a little power button on here, and here is the charge port. Typical of most folding electric bikes, this does have adjustable height handlebars. Here are the hydraulic brake levers. It's got rubber ergonomic grips held in place by a bolt so they won't rotate on you. Bell comes installed next to the 7-speed Shimano shifter. Slight rise on those handlebars, and the left side has a thumb throttle. Here's a peek at the Velotric display. There's a QR code on there where you can register your 2-year warranty. This little guy will tell you how to operate the thing. Looks like this. This section will show us how to get into a little bit of trouble. So let's power it on, see what this display looks like. So the display is basic. It is actually very bright. My camera's just turned way down. We get a battery readout in terms of 5 bars, MPHs right here. So there should be 5 levels of pedal assist, and we do have a cadence sensor on this e-bike. Tabbing through the menus, we get trip, odometer, average speed, max speed, and time. So to give you an idea of the size of this bike, I have the seat on max, handlebars are on max. I am 6'5" with an inseam of 34. Step through frame with the 20-inch wheels makes it easy to get on this bike. And here's what the riding position looks like for me and what my pedal stroke looks like on this bike. Now, of course, you can't drop those handlebars down, so this is a nice kind of bike to have to share with multiple, oh, watch out, doggy. So since the handlebars are adjustable as well as the seat, it makes it easy for this bike to fit multiple riders. Dropping that seat on down to minimum. Here's what I look like getting on this electric bicycle and what my pedal stroke would look like. Now, what kind of juice we working with on this thing? Whoa. Whoa. Enough to pop some wheelies. Easy on that throttle, bro. We're inside still. Doggy is very confused what the heck is happening over here. So let me show you the brakes, then we'll get it out for a ride. Actually, let me show you the headlights. So you hold the plus and it turns on the headlight. Pretty bright looking headlight. And you also get a rear tail light, and when you grab the brake lever, it lights up even brighter, so you get a brake light as well. Brakes are hydraulic, and we do have 180mm rotors. There is no quick release on this front wheel, so it'll make it a little bit more difficult for the bad guys to take it from you. And around back, we get the same size 180mm rotor on a hydraulic caliper. So let's go see how the Velopower drive system rides on the Fold 1. All right, dudes, let's check out the Velotric Fold 1. Of course, we're gonna fire up the Strava so we can check our official GPS measured range on this 48-volt, 13-amp-hour battery pack. And I do have a front rack for this bike, which would go right here, bolts right on there. I don't really have any need for this today, so we're gonna leave it at home. And of course, there are other rear accessories for this bike as well. So let's go ahead and fire this display up. We'll get our GPS speedometer up here, and let's get on out of here. Let's take a look at the lights in the elevator, holding that plus sign fairly bright there, and you can see it does have that brake light. And rolling on through the gerbil tunnel here, here's what that headlight's looking like. So the very first test we're gonna do on the Fold 1 is run it up to 20% grade on pedal assist 5, no pedaling at all. Let's see what kind of torque this thing is working with. So we do have these shorter 20-inch wheels. Can I make it up on throttle only with a 200-pound dude? 70 newton meters of torque, they say, and we are almost doing it with not pedaling at all. So that's about exactly what I expect from this bike. Let's go ahead and give it a little bit of pedaling assistance on pedal assist 1. Oh, that's not going to be a smart move. We should probably put that on a little bit higher pedal assistance. But pedal assist 1, just helping it just a little bit. It actually does show our power output meter right there. So with just a little bit of help, you can do it. Let's go ahead and throw on pedal assist 5 now, and just kind of help it just a little bit here. And it does show the power meter, so it is giving us more power on pedal assist 5, and it can bring us up to 20% grade with a little bit of assistance. Decently torquey feeling electric bike, but if you are looking for something that's gonna do all the hills on its own with absolutely no help at all, you might wanna look for something a little bit more powerful, like maybe the Summit 1 or the Nomad 1. Maybe even the Discover 2. First thing I am noticing out here on this bike is this display is actually very bright. It's pretty small and minimalist, but you can very easily see it. Let's go ahead and throw on the old polarized shades. Can you see it? Heck yeah, you can. So it's very, very bright, easy to see display. And let's talk about the power modes now. So pedal assist 0 will obviously give you absolutely no power on throttle or pedaling or anything at all. Now this bike is under 70 pounds in weight, so if your battery does die, you can actually get on this thing, pedal it, you know, you could ride this thing without any assistance at all. That cannot be said for all the e-bikes I review. So let's go ahead and throw this thing on pedal assist 1 and just start pedaling here a little bit. We are working with a cadence sensor on this electric bike, so doesn't matter how hard you press on the pedals, it will just give you a set level of power on mode number 1. That is in contrast to a torque sensor, which a torque sensor gives you power in proportion to how hard you press on the pedals, similar to what they have on the Summit 1 and the Discover 2. Cadence sensor is a more simple operation. So regardless of whether you're pedaling or using throttle, pedal assist 1 will take you up to 9 miles an hour. From a stop here on power level 2, let's press on that throttle, and we can see it gives us about 2 bars of power there, 3 bars of power. So it kind of just eases on the power. You can ride this thing in a very gentle manner. It takes you up to about 11.3 mphs, and regardless of whether you're pedaling or using throttle, 11.6 is the number you'll hit, and it'll reduce your power. There's maybe a competing e-bike right there. Now let's try power mode 3 on the stock settings. We will get in and modify those here in just a moment. So this bike does have 7 gears. We are on gear number 5 now with a comfortable cadence here, hitting about 14.5 mphs. Brakes are feeling solid on this bike. Let's try pedal assist 4 now, throttle only. So it'll kind of ramp up your power. Some of these cheaper cadence sensors, they'll just kind of hit you with all that power right off the gate, make it kind of an unpleasant riding experience for somebody who's looking for gentle power delivery and to get a little bit more out of the battery. And we do have a 48 volt, 13 amp hour battery pack on this thing. So it's not the largest battery pack. We're probably not going to want to go too crazy on speed because everybody knows speed kills range on electric bikes. But mode number 4 here takes us up to 17 miles an hour, and let's bump on up to gear number 7. Cybertruck. Speaking of electric, so on pedal assist level 4 takes us up about 17, and perfectly comfortable feeling cadence on the pedal stroke. So from a complete stop on pedal assist 5, let's go ahead and start pedaling this thing, see what kind of power it gives us. Oh yeah, so it gets on that power pretty quick and brings up the speed pretty quickly. Going around the turns, this thing definitely feels very light and nimble with those shorter 20-inch wheels, only 3 inches wide, so they have less rotational mass on them, in combination with them being spoke wheels, so it keeps the weight down. But on pedal assist 5, it will top us out at 20 miles an hour on the stock settings, so it just removes all your power after you get to 20, even if you use the throttle. However, you can adjust that top speed. This little guide that comes with the bike says to hold the power and plus button for 20 seconds when the bike is off. This is a long 20 seconds, dude. There it goes. So then the speed comes up, and you can increase the top speed to 28 mphs, and then long press the off button, and we should have a new top speed. Let's try it. So with our new top speed unlocked, let's try this thing off-road just a little bit. So it does have a coil front shock, 60 millimeters of travel. This is not the kind of e-bike you're going to want to be doing a ton of off-roading on. You could swap that seat post out for a suspension seat post if you are going to be riding it off-road, but it is a little bit harsh off-road. So now with our newfound top speed, oh gosh, we got the polices over here. We'll hop behind the Porsche Cayenne Turbo, see if we can keep up. Not quite, but it will take us up to hitting 27 into a headwind, 27.4 into a headwind. So we got a little bit of zoom in this thing now. No fancy turn signals or anything on this bike, but we can merge our way on over. Work our way in between the Mustang and the Corvette here. Oh, and a Porsche. Dang, man. Quite the lineup. Surely we could keep up with the Prius, right? We'll find out. So it looks like throttle will work beyond 20 miles an hour after unlocking everything. And even though it's not the fastest e-bike I ever rode, we can easily pass by, a non-motorized cyclist trying a little bit there. So let's do an acceleration run on this e-bike, 0 to 20. I weigh 200 pounds. This bike is super easy to get on with that step-through frame. Throttle only, ready, go. 5, 10, 15, 20, no, 20. So definitely not, like a power monster kind of e-bike, but it's not really what it's intended on being, right? I actually want to go ahead and run that back one time this way because there is a wind coming that way. Ready, go. 5, 7, 10, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20. So it is what it is. Riding position on this bike is comfortable. I like the ergonomic grips, the rubber feels nice. Nice rides on the handlebars. Seat is comfortable to sit on. Only thing I can think that would make this bike a little more comfortable would be a suspension seat post. And what is an e-bike review without a top speed run? Let's go ahead and get one of those in right now. 13, 14, 20, 26. And I can still keep up at about 28. I am starting to run out of pedaling just a little bit, 29 miles an hour. 29 on the don't pull in front of me, bro. 30 on the onboard, 28 according to my GPS. Blowing past all these e-bikes. Those are mid-drive e-bikes. A lot of those will top out at 20. Yeah, 29 miles an hour on the GPS. So it'll still give you power right around 28, 29. So pretty typical top speed for a class 3 electric bike. And of course you can get into the settings, modify that stuff. You can even take the throttle off if you don't want to use that. So you kind of make this bike kind of work for you no matter, you know, where you want to ride it. What a cool truck, man. It's got a wheelie bar on that thing. Is that necessary? So you can get into these settings and make this bike kind of work for you no matter where you want to ride it, whether it's class 1 trails, class 2 trails, or class 3 trails. Just modify those settings, then slap the corresponding sticker to whatever class you made the bike on the bike. Now this Velotric bike does not have all the fanciest features on it like some of the other higher end models they have, but what it does have is the Velopower drivetrain, and it is very quiet, silent drivetrain. So if you're looking for something that's quiet where you can just cruise in a national park or something, throw this thing in the back of an RV, bring it somewhere and enjoy nature and silence. This bike's pretty quiet. Then it does have the 3-inch wide tires, and these have pretty minimal road noise. Sometimes the fatter 4-inch tires, they'll be like really loud. Now where you might have some trouble is if you want to, you know, go riding on the sand or something with 3-inch wide tires. Typically it's just not going to be enough. Let's see what we can do if we kind of ride this little path out here, then hit the sand starting right here, a little bit sideways. So they are shorter 20-inch tires and only 3 inches wide, but we can kind of monster our way through this stuff just a little bit. But this is not like the highest power electric bike. It does have the knobby tread tires, so once you get down here on the more hard pack stuff, you can kind of get moving along here a little bit. And we do have the IPX7 rated battery, so if we get hit by a wave or something, the battery will be fine. You can fully, oh my goodness, you can fully submerge the battery for, what they say, like 30 minutes or something, which I did try in my Discover 2 review. The bike itself is rated for IPX6. Basically, you can like power wash the bike, clean it off when you're done riding out on the sand and stuff. Let's see how far we can make it up, riding up here, up the sand. Yeah, we're gonna kind of run out of steam here, and it is only an 18 amp controller, so it's going to be a little bit more gentle on the power delivery, which will also help save battery, less power, less energy burned. It's times like this that make a thumb throttle extra nice. So let's go ahead and try and run it up this sand with a bit of a roll out here up this hill, and we can just kind of barely squeak by and try it riding off in the sand or off in the grass here just a little bit. So yeah, that rear suspension, there is no rear suspension to speak of. Oh, you're all good, dude. Like I said, just throw a suspension seat post on there if you really want to be doing any harsh riding. So we have just a few more tests. You already know we're going to run it up the top of that 85-foot cliff. Of course, we're not going to run it straight up the cliff. We're going to take the 12% California Incline and heading out into the spiral section here. Let's give it a full throttle, see how it handles itself. Pulling us on up under its own power, 8 miles an hour, not pedaling this thing at all. So has enough torque to get us up this hill. And the back brake on this bike is on the right. Oh, that slides out nicely. We'll give an official test here at the bottom of the California Incline before we hit that wall, hopefully. Starting at the bottom of the California Incline, we'll do a full throttle here, see what kind of speed we can hit. 5, 7, 8, 11, 13, 14, 15. Still giving us full power, 16. And it looks like it's gonna top us out right about 17.6 miles per hour at the top of the California Incline. So let's go ahead and give these brakes a test. We're rolling on 180 millimeter rotors, hydraulic disc brakes, and the bike does weigh under 70 pounds. So let's go ahead and see if these brakes will bring us to a stop. Oh yeah. How much more dramatic can I be, dude? Survived another one, all right. So we are currently sitting at 4 out of 5 bars on the range. We're gonna head on home, see what the final range is. But first, let me share my final thoughts on the Velotric Fold 1. So for what it is, I think this is actually an excellent option. It does have that UL certified battery, which is significant. There's really not too many companies out there offering, you know, an e-bike, a folding e-bike at a good price, under $1,000 with a UL certified battery. I know there's a lot of companies out there saying that they, you know, they're UL certified batteries. This one actually is UL certified. It's more than just a little logo on the website. And then of course, on top of that, this is an IPX7 rated battery, meaning you can throw the battery underwater, which I did not do in this review. I did do it in my Velotric Discover 2 review. So this e-bike all around is pretty darn waterproof. If you're gonna be like riding out in the rain or something, you should have no problems on the Fold 1. And then of course, since it is a folding e-bike, you're probably gonna be, you know, loading this thing into a car or something, picking it up, and the weight on this one is actually not bad at all. And then you can pop that back battery off too. Some of these folding e-bikes, they'll have the battery built into the actual frame, making it harder to get out. This one, you can just pop the battery off the back of the bike very easily, reducing the weight by about an extra 10 pounds before you pick it up. So for a folding electric bike that's relatively lightweight, I think this is actually an excellent option. And if you are going to grab one, consider buying through that link down below the video in the description box. Use my link, and I do have a little extra discount code down there to help save you more money on your bike, so you can get the best price, and it would also help support my reviews here on Tail Happy TV, and I would greatly appreciate your support. I mean, it's freaking Velotric. Why would you get any other folding electric bike now that Velotric has an option for you? Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Let's head on home, check the final range. Just rolling up on 18.1 miles an hour, 36 minutes ride time, 11.23 miles per hour average speed, and we are showing 3 out of 5 bars on the battery. So after around 18.5 miles, I used around half the battery, so you could probably get double the range. Riding the way I was riding today, really didn't pedal this bike too much. Obviously, you could get a lot more range out of it if, you know, if you pedal it. So I'd say if you are in the market for a lightweight folding e-bike with a relatively smaller battery pack, you know, something you can load up in a car and ride around in silence and comfort, I really don't see any good reason why not to get the Velotric Fold one. It's a good folding electric bike, and they do have a 2-year warranty, and I do have a discount code down below this video. And if you did decide you weren't going to buy this bike, if you did buy through my link down below this video and use my discount code, I greatly appreciate your support, and it helps get you the best price on this bike. However, if this is not the kind of electric bicycle you're looking for, watch this video next, dudes. Catch you over there.